Championship Wrestling. I'm Gordon Soley, your host. With me, Barbara Clary, and this week joining me to lend his expertise in color commentary, my good friend Brian Blair. Barbara, your Take 5 concerns a recent arrival in Florida.
That's right. J.J. Dillon and Kendo Nagasaki are going to be with me, and we're going to find out exactly why he's here.
Okay, and Brian, an outstanding professional wrestler, and certainly a pleasure to have you back in Florida and at ringside.
Thank you, Gordon. You know, it's a pleasure to be here, as always, with you. I enjoy your commentating. You know, I sat back since I've been injured for a little while, and I've enjoyed your commentating, and I've enjoyed the championship wrestling from Florida.
We've got a great match coming up later on, too, a Southern Heavyweight Championship match, pitting Cowboy Ron Bass against Mike Rotunda. That's upcoming. Right now we have an outstanding match in progress, so let's go to the ring. Tommy Wright moving out against Hector Guerrero. And Guerrero, as we have found out, has definitely aligned himself with Gentleman Jim Holiday, Brian. And I know you've known Hector Guerrero for a number of years, both as a friend and a competitor, and you're pretty disappointed in the man.
I sure am, Gordon. You know, they say money's the root of all evil, and I guess that, you know, that can really be true. And in Hector's case, it certainly applies. As long as I've known Hector, you know, and his family, they've been outstanding scientific wrestlers. Hector knows and can do and can manipulate almost every move in the book. And have to resort to having a manager, especially one like Jim Holiday, you know, I just don't understand that, Gordon. You know, my pride's worth a lot more than money is. He's moving out right now against Tommy Wright. So far, they've had an excellent match. You know, Tommy Wright's certainly an improved competitor, and you know, it'd be a real big feather in Tommy Wright's hat if he could beat Hector Guerrero right now, because Hector just signed this contract, and that could go on and give Tommy some good matches in the future.
No question about that. Guerrero now, though, with a working on that wrist and working on the arm, and Guerrero looking like he might be trying to get some extra leverage. Referee Bill Alfonso checking those shoulders very quickly.
Notice how he's gone forward toward the front of the body in that armbar, Gordon. That's for leverage, like you were just saying. We use that for leverage. You go toward the body with the arm, and you'll have much more leverage.
One has to give Guerrero tremendous credit as a great athlete, but his philosophy certainly leaves a lot to be desired at this point in time.
Yes, sir, you're absolutely right about that.
Reversal by Wright, and Guerrero. High backdrop. He tried to get those feet underneath him, but to no avail.
I think, Gordon, he's setting Tommy up here because exactly. I noticed Hector hit his feet first right there. He caught himself, and he was making Tommy Wright right there think that he hurt his back to bring Tommy in there, and he did exactly what he tell you the truth, he used his head, Gordon. He did a smart thing right there, if that's the way you want to play. He drew Tommy Wright right into there. You know, there's such thing, we call it feigning in amateur wrestling, when we set one move up and make somebody think of another move, and Hector did it in a professional style right there. He made Tommy Wright think his back was hurt. I saw him hit his feet right there. Tommy didn't see that, of course, his back was to him, and as soon as Tommy came in, Hector Guerrero caught him off guard right there.
Guerrero outside the ring now. Excellent analysis by Brian Blair, and Guerrero outside the ring getting some last-minute advice and instructions once again from Gentleman Jim Holiday. And, of course, having somebody outside the ring, too, has to give you an advantage because you've got two minds working instead of one.
Exactly, Gordon. You've also got that distraction. Jim Holiday's also working to distract Tommy Wright and whoever Hector Guerrero's opponent may be. And of course, you know, that's definitely an advantage. I can't stand when there's a manager out there, especially one like Jim Holiday or J.J. Dillon, whom I personally don't have a very strong taste for.
Reversal by Wright that time. Twice he smashes Guerrero's head, a third, a fourth, a fifth time, and a sixth time, a seventh time. And Guerrero, dazed and staggered, collapses on the canvas. Wright very quickly in.
I think Hector's seeing some stars right now.
Again, Guerrero powers out before the count of three.
High knee lift right there. Oh, boy.
ripping across the eyes, ripping into the face once again of Tommy Wright. Uncorks a hard right hand. Tell you what, Guerrero's cocky, but he backs it up.
Yeah, that's right, Gordon. He sure does. You know, Hector's not particularly big. Oh, he's going for a suplex right here. Vertical suplex. Oh.
Guerrero instinctively went to his stomach, and a good move, and there's the point about having a manager.
That's right. Exactly. Right there, Gordon. You picked it right out. That could be it for Tommy Wright.
Guerrero moving up into the top ring rope. Down across the fallen form of Tommy Wright. So, the victor in this match, Hector Guerrero. I'll take a second right now to talk to Mike Rotunda, because here's a man who has really come a long, long way since arriving in the state of Florida. However, most recently, your experience has been broadened somewhat with the arrival of Kendo Nagasaki.
You know, earlier on the program, I heard you mention, and Barbara Clary mentioned, that Kendo Nagasaki will be interviewed on the Take 5, and she said that he was going to be interviewed to see why he was here, Gordon, and I can tell you why he's here. Him, along with J.J. Dillon, are in this area to hurt people, put people out of professional wrestling, because when there's no competition, they're going to make the money, they're going to be the champions, and that's exactly what he's here for. And you have a piece of film clip from a match that I had with Kendo Nagasaki that's going to explain and show to the people exactly what I'm talking about. And I feel that this is not the way a man should come into an area. He singled out me as a person, tried to put me out of professional wrestling, and I'm not going to go for it, Gordon. And I'd just like you to show that clip, if you could.
Yeah, let's take a look at this, and we'll see exactly what we're talking about. This happened recently in Arena. Here you see where Kendo Nagasaki is being introduced and entering the ring, assisted, of course, in the ring by J.J. Dillon. We're going to find out exactly what the relationship is between J.J. Dillon and Kendo Nagasaki, that ritualistic spin, and then, of course, there's that strange green fog that he emits from his mouth. Many wrestlers have attested to the fact that if that fog hits you in the eyes, it burns and causes a lot of problems with vision. But now, Mike, did you at this point in time, never having wrestled this man before, have any idea what sort of an attack he was going to launch?
Well, Gordon, you know, I know that this man is very qualified in martial arts, and right there you can see he's laying the blows into me, but I was coming back right there, and I knew I had to set the tempo of the match and show him that I was capable and is capable of fighting back as well as he was. And right there I scooped him up and slammed him to the canvas. And as you can see, Gordon, he took off and took a hike right there. And then J.J. Dillon, who's always present at ringside, you know, and I was well aware of him. But right there you can see Kendo Nagasaki is vicious. He's got a hold of my neck. He was ripping and tearing at my face all night, holding the ropes, choking, you know, that kind of vicious tactic.
In other words, he was taking every shortcut possible.
That's exactly right, Gordon. And right there I was down, you know, but I knew when I was hurt, he came out and kicked me right in the throat there, Gordon. And when you receive a blow like that, it stuns you, as well as knocks the wind out of you, you know. And I knew right there I was in trouble. I just had to keep coming to my feet and trying to counter his maneuvers, but he was very effective on those kicks.
I was just going to say, this is one of your, not necessarily your first experience with a man that adept with his feet, but certainly this man is most proficient at using his feet.
He surely is. He knows the pressure points. He threw me out of the ring right there. As you can see, J.J. Dillon, he picked me up by the hair. He tried to run my face into the post. I put my foot up and was able to knock J.J. Dillon, and right there I climbed back into the ring. And I knew it was time to go right now. If I had a chance in the match, it was time to go, and I just had to fire up and catch my second win right there. And as you can see, he's backing off. I laid a blow into the stomach with my foot and just kept on coming, threw him into the ropes, hit him with an elbow off the ropes. I later, right here, dropped an elbow across his throat, and I had his leg hooked for the 1-2-3 right there. He did kick out. I put him up to the rope again, threw him off, and I scooped him up in the airplane spin. As I was going around right there, you can see J.J. Dillon come up again as the referee turned. Kendo Nagasaki's feet hit him in the referee and knocked the referee down. J.J. Dillon came in the ring. I got him in the airplane spin as well, but to my disadvantage right there as I dumped J.J. to the mat. I was kind of dizzy right there, Gordon. As you can see right there, the karate chop right to the throat, and that's an illegal blow. That hold has been barred in the state as well as most of the world for professional wrestling, and right now he's just choking me and I was in trouble right there, Gordon.
All right, and this is the point that Mike was making earlier on before we saw exactly what happened. And it's increasingly obvious that Kendo Nagasaki and J.J. Dillon have indeed singled you out as a target. And certainly they have thoughts of furthering their stature and reputation by eliminating you.
Well, that's fine, Gordon, because if they want to single me out, I'll sign any wrestling match they want to wrestle in any arena in this state or in the country. But when a man comes out and tries to deliberately hurt me by throwing blows like karate to my throat, there's more than has to be reckoned with in wrestling. It's going to be a dogfight, and I'm not here to be anybody's stepping stone. I want to be the best that I can, and I'm definitely not in there to get hurt. So Kendo Nagasaki, that I have your warning now, brother. Now I'm giving you a warning. The fight's on now, partner.
Thank you very much, Mike Rotunda. Let's go to the ring.
This match won followed a 10-minute time limit. Introducing first from Chattanooga, Tennessee, at 210 pounds, Zane Gray. His opponent from South Africa, at 365 pounds, Mr. Kareem Mohammed.
Kareem Mohammed moving out against Zane Gray. You know, it's interesting, Brian, and as talking to Mike Rotunda just now, if you looked into his eyes, he has a very mild voice. His composure was extremely well. But if you looked into his eyes, there was an icy coldness in his eyes that certainly, I'm sure if Nagasaki and Dillon were watching, I'm sure they got the message.
Exactly, Gordon. You know, Mike's kind of quiet. He's not an outspoken type of guy. He's a very sincere person, and he means what he says. And he's the type of person that doesn't have to scream to get his point across. He doesn't have to rant and rave like a lot of people do. But when Mike Rotunda tells you something, you can believe it.
Exactly. Kind of like E.F. Hutton. Kareem Mohammed is Gray to the canvas, and referee Bill Alfonso watching on as Mohammed just punishing his man.
Don't give up, boy! So, you know, I think Zane Gray is kind of out of his weight class here and out-experienced also with Kareem Mohammed. I'd like to say this is going to be a contest, Gordon. However, I personally don't think it will be. Of course, one thing you can't take away is youth, and Zane Gray's young, and you know, when you're young and you're out there, boy, you'll fight a bear if you have to, Gordon, and make a name for yourself. So I can't really sell the guy short. This is the first time I've ever watched him wrestle. Oh, excellent move by Kareem.
A lot of agility there for a man who's about 340 pounds.
Sure is. Sure is.
He took him over like a sack of garbage and put him right back down on the canvas once again, and I'll tell you, there's only one way to get experience, and that's to get into that ring and face what appeared to be sometimes insurmountable odds, and that's exactly what Zane is doing right now. Gray back to his feet. His upper body is considerably reddened from the punishment that he's taken so far in a full body slam. This would have to be, for a competitor, a very discouraging thing to realize that every time you get on your feet, you're just going to get more punishment.
Sure. Exactly, Gordon. You know, he doesn't have a chance really to do anything right now. Kareem's got the match completely under control. About his only chance would be to get Kareem down to go for those legs. It's like in amateur wrestling, they always tell you that the body's like a table. You take away one of the legs and the table falls. So, and naturally, he's got the leverage being so much bigger. We're talking about Kareem, he's got the leverage over Gray. The only way Gray does stand a chance is to get the man down. Right now, it doesn't look like he's going to be in that situation. Elijah's right on the corner there, too, coaching him along. I'm sure.
It's the Zambui Express, and of course they The former U.S. Tag Team champ. Aha! Gray fires to the midsection. Had little or no effect on Kareem Muhammad, however. Flat of the foot into the chest once again. And you can hear...
So let's tell the people how you're looking at a brilliant piece of work. I know I'm not supposed to be over here, but don't worry about it. And you look, I couldn't help myself. I was just looking at my man work. I had to come over and tell the people a brilliant piece of work. You're looking at a master. That is crazy.
Comments from Elijah Akeem.
He's certainly cocky right now, Gordon. I'd like to see what he'd be saying if Dusty Rhodes or Blackjack Mulligan were out there. I think his tune would be a little different.
Could be indeed. There's the Zambui Express. And he's got him for the pin. Let me get over to ringside, Brian, and have a word with these two. Zambui Express, victorious in a single...
That's right, victorious, man, victorious. I know you don't like it. I know you don't like it.
Sir, when you win or lose is entirely up to your skills and ability.
Now, one solely, you like to see us lose. Part of the establishment. Yeah. You like the family, don't you? But I'm going to get off you, okay? But I want you to listen to us. For a long time now, we've been cheated. A lot of people might not like our style. They might not like because we're rugged and tough. But one thing they have to appreciate, that we're the best. And that we rule Florida. Not the family, but the Zambui Express. Whether it be in Jacksonville, whether it be in Tampa, Orlando, Miami, it can be in the Bahamas, I don't care. We want a title shot. You think they'll give us a title shot for that U.S. trophy? You think they'll do that?
Well, sir, all you have to do, I'm sure, is sign a contract.
You always got something smart to say. And let me tell you something about Rhodes and Mulligan and the family. The man said it all right here. You watched him work. He's a master at his trade. The Zambui Express is a master at what they do, and they do it well. Let me tell you something. You talk about the family. There's no doubt in my mind. Anytime they put that our trophy up because they never won it, they stole it. But one thing about it, and I know this man like I know myself. There's no time, anytime he'll take that Mulligan apart. You know, look at him. Look at this man. And don't you forget it, Soley.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. We'll be back in just a moment.
This contest won fall with a 10-minute time limit. Introducing the contestants from Atlanta, Georgia, at 232 pounds, Mike Davis. His opponent from parts unknown, weight unknown, Dr. X.
Dr. X moving out against Mike Davis. Mike Davis now making his home in Atlanta, Georgia. He is originally from Jacksonville, Florida. Dr. X, good, solid competitor. Side headlock, and Davis blocked that very nicely into a hip lock takedown.
That was a nice move, Gordon. He used the ropes right there to his advantage. You know, Mike Davis is a young wrestler, and he's certainly made some tremendous amount of improvement in the last 3 years. I first saw Mike about 3 years ago, and you know, he'd started out and he was, you know, always asking people questions and always wanting to know this and trying to learn a move here. Beautiful drop kick. And you know, that's how you learn, Gordon, by watching and asking and going out there and trying it, and that's exactly what Mike did.
Certainly no question about that, and he is a vastly improved competitor. And Dr. X, however, got that forearm across the chin bone, or the cheekbone rather, of Davis. Caused him some momentary strife, but extra leverage, and Davis came out of it very quickly, back into another hip lock takedown.
Right. You know, Mike's trying to keep him on the mat right there. He's kind of following. He's got a game plan in his head. You know, in wrestling, you can't really have a game plan like in football, so to speak, where you know exactly what the other man's going to do, because you don't. But once you're working on, like Mike's got his head, and a head's a good place to be, because when you control that head, the body's going to follow.
Into the ring ropes. Referee, cheap shot by X on the break. Reversal by Mike Davis, and back into a hip lock takedown.
When you have a man down in that headlock like Mike does right now, Gordon, there's several things you can do. You can sit there and try to wear him out and keep cutting the circulation off, which he's doing right now in a headlock. It's not actually a sleeper, but you still have part of the carotid arteries blocked off. It immobilizes you. You keep that. He's got the wrist under the ear. You always want to keep that wrist under the ear so that head can't pop out.
Up and over his man, and Davis crashes down and punishes Dr. X. X coming up very slowly. Davis closes in once again and back into another hip lock takedown.
X seems to have been mostly on the defensive thus far in this match. He's tried to make a couple offensive moves, but Mike Davis has moved in on him and retaliated and got back on the advantage.
Davis keeping that side headlock. Dr. X regaining his feet. Dr. X turning the tables on Davis, and then catches him in the head once again, and Davis may have some problems here. A headbutt, and the referee very quickly checking to make sure there was nothing on it. Davis now with a series of right hands.
Good forearm. Good solid forearm by Dr. X.
Back of the elbow caught him in the chest into a lateral press. Davis powers out. And a rear chin lock by Dr. X.
If you notice that instinct right there, Gordon, as soon as Mike Davis right then, he was able to feel that his back was right on the mat, and Dr. X didn't even have him actually for barely that one count. Mike Davis kicked out. Beautiful switch and duck under into the arm right now. He's got a hammer lock on him. Driving the knee into the back of the tricep muscle.
Enough punishment there, and you take away a lot of the pulling strength.
Exactly, Gordon.
Sullivan bar, and gets that shoulder down, and so it is Dr. X in trouble here, a definite predicament.
That's right, Gordon. You know, I've used this hold, and I've seen many young amateurs use this particular hold right here for a pinning situation. He's definitely in there. If he could hold him down and bring that weight down.
Would a partial reverse Nelson have helped there to get the added leverage?
Well, that's very possible, Gordon. He could have used a farmer's block and brought him back in. He's doing it right now. I think he's kind of reading our minds right there, Gordon. Dr. X got to the rope.
That'll force the break. So Dr. X utilizing that ring rope, and Dr. X now on his bicycle backing away. No timeouts in professional wrestling. So Mike Davis continues to stalk him.
Top wrist lock right now. Again, Mike Davis is applying pressure to that arm.
Reversal by Dr. X, and a standing switch by, standing reversal rather by Mike Davis. Forward leg pickup, and once again Dr. X on the mat. Davis has really kept him on the mat during this match.
He sure has, Gordon. He's kept pretty well complete control of this match. Dr. X is he's tried to come out of it a few times, but thus far he hasn't been successful. I thought he was going to come on top there when he ran Mike Davis into that turnbuckle, but Davis came right back out on top.
Dr. X driving that shoulder into the midsection of Mike Davis, and this may have taken a toll on him.
Oh.
Reverse atomic knee drop, and Davis, stunned by that one, has his problems, and Dr. X. Good block by Davis. Davis now gets the side headlock once again. Good shoulder smash by Davis coming off the ropes again. That time Dr. X was setting ready for him, one step ahead of him.
He sure was, Gordon, exactly. He was one step ahead of him that time. He outthought Mike that time and caught him with that knee right in the midsection. And, boy, that was a hard knee, too. Oh, beautiful move by Mike Davis. Oh, Luthez press. I haven't seen that in a long time, Gordon.
Excellent vertical body block by Mike Davis, and so he emerges the victor over Dr. X. Let me take a few moments right now to talk to Cowboy Ron Bass, because he'll be facing the Yellow Dog tonight at the wrestling matches to be held in Nassau at the New Providence Nassau Stadium. Match time is 8:30. In the main event, it will be Blackjack Mulligan against the one-man gang, but really you'd have to call it a co-main event as the Yellow Dog takes on Cowboy Ron Bass. Mike Rotunda faces Kendo Nagasaki, and Mike Davis takes on Black Bart. Mr. Bass, you've made some rather strong statements regarding the Yellow Dog.
You're still going to call the man the Yellow Dog, are you, Sully? Well, I'm not going to be out here and try to pull the wool over nobody's eyes. The man is a little snot-nosed kid, Barry Windham. He's the man, if you people remember, that I took right here on TV and I rode him around the ring and gave him saddle sores like some little washed-up jackass. But the man is back now. He's got blood in his eyes. He's got revenge in his eyes. And you people right here in Nassau know what happened when there was revenge in somebody's eyes last time. Myself and Dusty Rhodes went to the ring, and yes, we're still wearing scars. They were blood all over the ring. So Barry Windham's going to come in here wearing a mask. He's going to have it over his face so he can turn loose, I think he understands. He's going to say, he's going to be able to say, okay, I can do this now because I'm the Yellow Dog. I ain't Barry Windham. Now I can go get the big cowboy and give him what he deserves. And Barry Windham, you come and give me everything I deserve because I want you to. I want you to be a man. I fought all along, all my life to try to make you a man. And now then maybe, just maybe you'll prove me right to that yellow daddy of yours.
Oof, Mr. Bass, some rather strong comments. You know, he's talking about the Yellow Dog being Barry Windham. Admittedly, there certainly are some interesting characteristics. Barry Windham's about 6'4", the Yellow Dog's about 6'4". Barry weighs about 240. The Yellow Dog weighs about 240, and he seems to have a vendetta in mind, and that is catching up with one Cowboy Ron Bass. Well, J.J. Dillon, the manager of the year, has some comments.
1984, it's a new year. And you know, here in the Bahamas at Nassau is continuing to grow every time I come over here, just like professional wrestling in the Bahamas. And I have made a decision, and I'm currently negotiating to buy a condominium on Paradise Island, because it is paradise. Every time I go to the Grand Hotel, beautiful. I go down to the casino, the floor show, where they always have me as their guest, one of the finest in the world. The Bridge Inn, one of the finest restaurants in the world. And as manager of the year 1983, I plan on taking over the wrestling scene here in Nassau. Because every time I come to Nassau Stadium and you people start your chant, "We want JJ, we want JJ," your mandate is inspiring me. And I have only to take the Bahama heavyweight title away from the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. Well, that's waiting in the wings. But the one-man gang who is destined to become your champion,
Blackjack!
the first thing he's going to do is take the other dominant force in the family, and I'm talking about Blackjack Mulligan.
Blackjack!
And the one-man gang understands it's not going to be an easy task. But when Dusty Rhodes gets the word with what we've done tonight, right here at Nassau Stadium with Blackjack Mulligan, he may just send me the belt, and then we can go over the beach. I'll put the belt, and you can do your road work.
I love it!
Tell you what, Blackjack, it's going to be a tough night.
You know, time's running down, Blackjack. It's getting kind of short right now. We're heading into the Nassau Stadium tonight. When that music starts playing and the people start moving around, boy, it just fills your body with excitement. This is something you've never seen before, Kendo Nagasaki. Something that you've never felt. I've been there. I've felt it. I've felt those people in Nassau come behind me when I was in trouble, when I needed them. This is on my side. The people are on my side, Kendo Nagasaki. These are my friends. You're coming in there, and I'm going to be going against you, brother, with everything I got and all the people behind me. And then Big Blackjack's coming out later on, and he's going to do his thing right there.
But the only thing that J.J. Dillon is going to be taking over is the chores out at the bunkhouse and the horse barn at the Headlock Ranch. That's all he's taking over. Now, people hollering and screaming, wanting to know who the yellow dog is, and you better quit talking about you better quit talking about the yellow dog like that, Bass. Because he's going to come there and whoop your tail, and payback time is here. I don't know who the yellow dog is. Who's the yellow dog? That's right, but you're going to find out. A one-man gang is body slam and pin time. One of the biggest men in the whole world. I need all your blessing, I need all your help, I need your booging and getting down, I need your soul and your hollering and screaming, because he just may kill me good dog.
This match won followed a 10-minute time limit. Introducing first from Dothan, Alabama, at 260 pounds, Tony D'Amato. His opponent from the Far East, at 265 pounds, the Black Ninja, Kendo Nagasaki.
Kendo Nagasaki getting set to move out against Tony D'Amato. D'Amato in the red trunks. There you see Nagasaki having his headgear removed, and there again is that strange green fog. Referee calls for the bell. And it's Nagasaki very quickly moving in with a hip toss. And a quick takedown.
Who is this competitor that Nagasaki's wrestling right here, Gordon?
It's Tony D'Amato. He's a young fellow who has been here for a brief period of time. He's a game competitor, but Nagasaki has a world of experience edge on this youngster.
He sure does. He hip tossed him about 3 different times right there and went right down for his neck, right into a chokehold, which he's famous for. Chopping right across the chest. Another chop. You know, Kendo Nagasaki's a dangerous wrestler, Gordon. You know, you almost have to expect to get hurt when you wrestle a man like this. If he doesn't get you with the martial arts, you always have to watch out for that spray. And I know he put me out for a while with that spray, and I'll never forget that.
High backdrop by Nagasaki has D'Amato back to the canvas once again.
Oh, boy, he kicked him across the chest right there. Like he drive his foot through the mat.
Interesting situation. J.J. Dillon says that the only man that he is managing is Cowboy Ron Bass, the Southern Heavyweight Champion. Of course, we'll see that title match upcoming, but Barbara is going to find out exactly what is the relationship between J.J. Dillon and Kendo Nagasaki during her Take 5.
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, Gordon, J.J. Dillon's just a leech, and I think he sees an opportunity right now. He knows Kendo Nagasaki is a devastating competitor, and I'm sure he's got some evil plotted in his mind. Somehow he wants to hurt Blackjack Mulligan, Dusty Rhodes, Mike Rotunda, these type of top competitors, so that his guys will be #1 around here, and so he can keep on a winning streak.
Nagasaki just caught him, the savate blow to the midsection and a chop into the throat, and now a rear chin lock has that knee planted in the small of the back of Tony D'Amato. Says to put some very tough pressure on you.
He sure is. Kendo Nagasaki's really controlled this man's body. Oh, what a kick. Right across the face. What a kick.
Count of 3. Count of 3 it is all over, and so from the Orient, the victor, Kendo Nagasaki. Well, the night has finally come. It will be tonight. That's right, championship wrestling tonight here in Nassau at New Providence Nassau Stadium. Here it is, January 7th, 1984, and match time is 8:30. In the main event, Blackjack Mulligan takes on the one-man gang, the body slam versus the pin. The Yellow Dog clashes head-on with Cowboy Ron Bass. Mike Rotunda takes on the challenge of one Kendo Nagasaki. It'll be Mike Davis against Black Bart. All of this great action will take place tonight here in Nassau at the New Providence Nassau Stadium. Again, I'd like to remind you of the time. The time is 8:30 tonight. And it's going to be interesting to find out whether Blackjack Mulligan, 6 foot 7 inches tall, whether or not he can pin the one-man gang or body slam him. It's going to be interesting indeed. And, of course, the Yellow Dog facing Cowboy Ron Bass, and it's obvious that Cowboy Ron Bass has something the Yellow Dog wants. He may get it tonight here in Nassau.
J.J. Dillon and Kendo Nagasaki have joined me at the desk. Mr. Dillon, exactly what is your relationship to this man, and why have you brought him here?
Well, Barbara, as you know, I've continued to honor my commitment to Cowboy Ron Bass, the Southern Heavyweight Champion, with an exclusive contract. However, my sphere of influence naturally has to flow over into other areas. Professional wrestling is the greatest sport in the world today for the simple reason that there are probably more great athletes in professional wrestling than any other single sport. And the only problem is that there's only one James J. Dillon. And I've built an empire here in the southern portion of the United States. The weather's to my liking. I've been very successful. And there's that old saying, when you've got a winner, you know, you ride it out. But my sphere of influence has extended over to Kendo Nagasaki. I first brought him to the state of Florida. He was extremely successful here. Following Florida, he went on a world tour, successful throughout the world. Unfortunately, I was not able to be with him on a full-time basis. However, I continued to remain in contact with him. I made sure that he was well taken care of. And naturally, I think it was more that he wanted to come back and just to be with me for a while. I don't have him under contract, but I do continue to advise him, and he looks to me for help. And again, I look at it as being a benefit to Cowboy Ron Bass. But earlier today, we saw a confrontation that took place between Mike Rotunda and the Black Ninja Kendo Nagasaki. And I remember back, which the wrestling fans saw 1 week ago, an interview that you and I did at that time, and I made a statement that sticks in my mind, and I've had a lot of reporters quote me as having made this statement, and it's true, that when I first saw Kendo Nagasaki, Barbara, for the first time in my life, I actually did stand in fear of another human being. His powers are awesome. You can see from his style in the ring, he's very unorthodox. And he may get confused sometimes, he may be stunned sometimes, but it's also very obvious that he stands never in fear of another human being, another wrestler. And I think that's part of the reason that he's been so successful, and this goes back to the Oriental way of thinking. But I want to plant a seed to Mr. Mike Rotunda, who talked about Kendo Nagasaki being his and issuing challenges, and I'm going to remind Mr. Mike Rotunda of something, that he hoisted me up in the airplane spin without provocation. This caught the eye of Kendo Nagasaki, and Kendo has made it known to me that you do not put your hands on James J. Dillon, and I hope, Mr. Rotunda, you're listening.
That's our take 5 for this week.
This contest won't follow a 10-minute time limit. Introducing first from Syracuse, New York, at 232 pounds, Mike Rotunda. His opponent, accompanied to the ring by James J. Dillon from Pampa, Texas, at 285 pounds, the Southern Heavyweight Wrestling Champion, Cowboy Ron Bass.
All right, the Southern Heavyweight Championship on the line. Ron Bass defending his title against the former champion Mike Rotunda by order of Championship Wrestling from Florida. And a one-fall event. And, brother, this is one we've been waiting for all day long. And it is Rotunda with a quick Irish whip and into a head scissors, a flying head scissors on Ron Bass, the Southern champion. Rotunda up another flying head scissors. And Rotunda is really fired up.
What an athlete, Gordon. What a tremendous athlete Mike Rotunda is. He's what you call a wrestler's wrestler. You know, he can wrestle and he can fight you. The agility it takes to go up into the air and get a flying head scissors like he did. You know, Mike Rotunda weighs, what does he weigh, Gordon, 240 pounds?
240.
Right in there. Yeah, that's a lot of weight to fly up in the air and grab Ron Bass right by the head.
Cross body block this may be it. Quick pin.
Oh, he almost had him. Back into the headlock.
Good solid hip lock takedown by Rotunda. Bass got himself a handful of problems here. He got that title away from Rotunda in a bunkhouse type match. It was Rotunda's first experience with that, and I have to feel that perhaps Rotunda wasn't, as prepared as he could have been had he had more experience in that particular form of combat.
Right. Well, he sure took a hard slam into that turnbuckle right there. Bass really threw him off. Bass is a strong man, Gordon. You know, I've seen Bass bench press close to 500 pounds before, and it takes a lot of strength to do something like that.
Ducked under by Rotunda, back into another cross body block, and
one of the dangers of being a referee right there.
The referee caught that time as Bass fired him off, and Rotundo's got him up in the airplane spin. Rotunda has him up in the airplane spin. And Bass has got to be in trouble here. We're about to see a new Southern heavyweight champion.
Sure, boy, that should be the...
One-man gang just charged the ring.
Oh, that's ridiculous. Mike Rotunda had Ron Bass right there in his favorite hold. He had him down. This is ridiculous right here. I can't believe that.
The referee trying to call for the bell. Bass is outside the ring, and Mike Rotunda.
Oh no, he's going up to that top rope.
Hold on, Dusty Rhodes just hit the ring.
Oh, Dusty Rhodes. He slammed him off the top rope. He slammed him off the top rope, Gordon.
Blackjack Mulligan just brought a chair in, and Dusty Rhodes just caught the one-man gang. The one-man gang got up, and Rhodes caught him again with that chair. Then the one-man gang got up again, and Rhodes caught him again. And Rhodes frustrated here. Rhodes, I can't believe that one-man gang got Rhodes caught with that chain, got back on his feet again, dropped again by that just imposing that chain. We've got absolute bedlam here.
This is mayhem, Gordon. I can't believe this.
We've got a wild... I just can't believe it. I cannot believe it.
They're lacerated, Gordon. That chain, Dusty and one-man gang, they're both lacerated. Well, this is what you call Pier 6 Brawl here, Gordon.
We've got to get the situation separated here, and it is Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream, and the one-man gang, and totally locked in Mortal Kombat here. So I cannot believe it. I'll guarantee you this much, Brian, that if the one-man gang thinks he wants Dusty Rhodes, I don't think he has any idea how badly Dusty Rhodes and Blackjack Mulligan want Cowboy Ron Bass and the one-man gang. And certainly Mike Rotunda has a lot to settle up with Kendo Nagasaki, Ron Bass, and now the one-man gang. Brian, thanks for being with us. Until next week, Gordon Soley saying so long.